Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. You already know where we are. We're at my favorite lake, and today I'm super stoked. Awesome drive down here. Only got behind a couple cars. Haven't hit a single stump yet, which I think is a record. I'm out here at first light. I'm already seeing bait busting everywhere, so I'm gonna get to it, guys. Let's get us a big one today. So I'm already seeing bait busting, so we're gonna start off with the walking bait here. This bank last time is where I had a lot of success on the Cinco. Today what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna start off power fishing, and then we're gonna go to the fluke and the Cinco. Might do a little comparison to see which one works better. I'm gonna work my way back this pocket pretty quickly. Last time they were in the middle of the pocket, so we're gonna run down here, but then we're probably gonna end up focusing on the middle of the pocket if we find those fish again. Oh, got one. Little guy. Didn't know I had him on. Swept it. It's a skinny boy. Skinny boy. All right, guys. First fish of the day. I like that we already got that reaction bite. I think that's a great sign. They've been busting a lot in the middle. So what that tells me is I need to work my bait pretty much out to my boat, because I haven't seen a lot of flickering shallow. It's been mostly in the middle. Another one, guys. Small one. Small one, but they love it. They love it right now. Just nervous right now, guys. But that's a mistake I don't want to make. I want to slow down. I want to make sure I take my time. This bait's obviously working. I want to try a whopper popper, but again, you don't want to switch it if it's working. I'm gonna try to get the frog in a little bit deeper here. Again, I just wanted to give that a quick little test. I know there's typically fish back in there, so it's okay to keep them honest and go right back to what's working. Try the whopper popper out a little bit. Cast it for about 5 or 10 casts, and if I don't get anything, we'll switch back to that walking bait. This rod also has a higher pound test on it, so I feel like I can fight the fish a little bit better if I get something on it. Oh, son of a biscuit. Just one of the most gorgeous sunrises I've seen in a long time. There we go, guys. There we go. So he was not on the bank. He was on this main lake point right here, and I was dragging it across the point, but I wasn't dragging it up on the bank. First one on the Cinco today. Finally, another bite. That weighted Texas Herc Cinco. Tossing it around. Beautiful fish. Look at that thing. It's a little bit long, but there's some big fish in here, so. Alrighty guys, so time for a little midday update. So the fishing has been rough so far. We've had those 2 topwater fish this morning, and I believe we've gotten 2 more on the Cinco. So not an awful day so far. Looking at the weather, this is kind of what I expected. A couple of days ago we had pre-frontal conditions. Now we're in post-frontal conditions. We do have wind and we do have clouds. So theoretically you would think that would be a good day. The thing is, a lot of these fish are not up shallow biting power fishing baits. A lot of them are off the bank. We're seeing them in the 10 to 12 foot range. I'm trying to target those with that Texas Rig Cinco. I didn't have my GoPro on, but I just got 2 bites on the swim jig. So I think that Texas Rig Cinco and just slowing down with that swim jig, I think those are gonna be the deal today. I threw around the big Cinco a little bit. That's a bait that I want to throw around because I feel like if I do get a bite on it, it's going to be a giant bite, but it's not something I have a lot of confidence in. So I'm trying to balance the 3 baits right now. Texas Rig Cinco with a 3/8 ounce blue tungsten weight, big Texas Rig Cinco, and then the swim jig. Again, I just got a couple bites on the swim jig, so I am developing more confidence on that. This is going to be one of those days where we have to put our nose to the grindstone, keep going. But the thing about these days is you're just as likely to catch a big fish on a day like this, and I'd rather have 1 6, 7, 8 pounder than 20 dinks. So let's get back to it. Let's toss the swim jig around. Let's see if we can get us a good one. Forgot what a bite felt like. You can tell he was little. I didn't get a very good hook set in him. Okay. This little stretch right here, bank guys, it just holds them. Where's the bigs? So we've got the pattern down a little bit. Seems to be Senko and swim jig. Kind of what I was figuring. Again, you would think cloudy, windy, you would think they would really be active today, but it's been cloudy and windy for the past few days, so they've had a good chance to feed up. Also right now the winds are coming from the northeast, so typically your best winds are going to be the south and then the west. The north and the east are going to be the worst winds. Again, you can't let that dictate your entire mentality or how the fish are going to bite, but those are just some general rules of thumb, and it seems to be pretty accurate right now. Oh. Nice. Biggest one of the day. Biggest one of the day. Okay. Right there on that main lake point. Little chunkarooski. I'd say he's about 1.4, pound and a half. Right under the boat too. I've been seeing fish on my graph on this point, and I figured if I came in a little bit, had to be one somewhere. Again, they're not right up on the bank. They're about 10 feet off the bank. Probably sitting directly on top of them right now. So we found some near the secondary points, we found some near the main lake points. But they're definitely schooled up when we find them. I hate to keep throwing the same lure in the same place, but unfortunately it's just working too well to switch. Oh no! Alright, well, he's hooked. Barely. Alright, a little bit better one. He's hooked really well, actually. Here we go, guys. Pound and 3/4. And pound and a half to a pound and 3/4. A little bit better one. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at all that bait right there. No wonder you're hanging around, little buddy. It's crazy. So they have moved back in the creek. Interesting. Now when he hit that, he came off that tree pretty quick. So I'm wondering anybody else was hanging out there with him. With the sun coming out, we're actually going to develop shadow under these trees, on the shoreline, and the bass that were all scattered out before are more likely going to push up in the shade. I actually bought a pair of sunglasses to specifically keep in the truck. That way I will have them when I need them. And I always get the Cast King glasses. They're super cheap, like 25 bucks. They actually work really well. So of course on the way back to the ramp, GoPro dies. Best one of the day, probably about a 2-pounder, nothing special.
Get a release on it?
All right guys, long day on the water. I was out there about 10 hours today, putting in the work. I am so exhausted. Fun day overall, beautiful weather. I love that it was cloudy all day. I didn't break a sweat one time, that was great. The fishing, I would say was subpar today. We did end up getting about 6 or 7 fish. We really had to work for those 6 or 7. They made us earn it today. No big girls, but that's okay. We still had fun, great day on the water. What went right and what went wrong? So first, what went right? We stuck with the lure that was working. The Cinco was working for us, whether it was weighted, weightless. Honestly, I'm getting kind of tired of using it, but it works. So again, don't switch lures if it's working. In terms of the area, we spent a lot of time in that creek today. That creek definitely has the fish back there. I don't think they were as active today, but there's giant schools of shad, there's bluegill, there's small fish back there. Those fish are definitely back there. So we spent a lot of time in that area. That was great. That was what we needed to do, was stay put there. Ended up catching a decent amount in the creek. That's about it for what went right, guys. There wasn't too much to say about what we did right today because we couldn't quite figure them out. Honestly, I think the weather had a lot to do with it. Again, cloudy and windy. You think that's gonna be the perfect fishing day, but the winds have switched. They were blowing southwest, now they're blowing northeast. Not a very favorable fishing wind. Supposedly these Florida strain bass in here are more susceptible to these weather changes. I'm not sure if that's true or not. We did get some to bite today. I just don't think we found the right quality fish, and that leads me into what went wrong. So I should have fished offshore more. I found a couple pods of fish offshore. I came back to the ramp. I met a guy named Rico, shout out to Rico, and he asked me why I didn't drop shot this fish. And that was a great question. I should have drop shot this fish. I should have tried a little bit more to fish for him. I did throw the jerkbait around a little bit. I really want that jerkbait bite to turn on. I know where those fish are at. I feel like I'm targeting with the right thing. It just hasn't happened yet. So I'm not sure what's going on there. In terms of what else went wrong, I would have loved to tie on a big swim bait today. I was thinking about it all day long. I'm not sure why I didn't do it, but to me that was a huge mistake. We weren't getting a lot of bites, so the thing to do would have been to upsize that bait and try to get at least one big bite instead of a bunch of little fish, which is what we ended up with. But anyway, guys, great day on the water. So blessed to be out here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment down in the comment section below what you would use today. Thank you guys, and God bless.